bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey A.
God bless football, Fuentes.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Good decision. You were thinking about it, Mikey A. I could tell you were thinking about it.
I was.
Yeah. It was a great weekend in the NFL. It really was. Billy has two teams he doesn't trust after this weekend. He's mad at Joe Burrow. Let's start there. Why are you mad at Joe Burrow? What happened?
Not mad at Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow made Sunday Night Football a very exciting game.
Yes.
When at the beginning it wasn't a very exciting game.
Right.
And, you know, some people sometimes on Sunday nights, especially if, maybe, possibly under the weather, say, you know what? All right. It'll be an early night. Get rested up for tomorrow. We'll be good to go. GBF.
Yep.
And then he decided, you know what? I want to make this a competitive game.
Uh-huh.
And still lost, by the way.
He did, yes, but you're mad at him for keeping you up later than you had to stay up. Huh?
Also, it was like a really late Sunday night game. It was like 11:20, and they were like starting the fourth quarter. I don't know why it took so long. I mean, I guess all the scoring.
Billy, what's your threshold there? Like, what's your threshold where you're like, you know what? I can turn this off and go to bed. I don't need to watch the rest of this.
I mean, in the first half, it wasn't a close game, right? So I felt fairly comfortable in seeing the score and saying, you know what? I think that I can go to bed. It was like 24-6, and I'm like, okay.
It was 24-6 at halftime. I was thinking the same thing. I actually went to bed.
Did you?
Yes.
You missed a great comeback.
Really?
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins.
Almost come back.
Huh.
Almost come back.
Well, I mean, they came back and they tied it.
Right.
And then J.K. Dobbins did the thing. What would you do there? Because, like, I would be J.K. Dobbins. I mean, I wouldn't because I'm not as talented, right?
Right.
But, like, I'm sure that when that happened, because the Bengals still had time, it was like 15 seconds or 12 seconds or something. They would have
18 seconds left.
Yeah. But regardless, most people now would tell you, slide. Do not go into the end zone.
Because you don't want to give Joe Burrow a chance to come back down.
Yeah, because you could slide at the 2-yard line and then kick a field goal. Even though we've seen the last 2 weeks, and we'll get to it a little bit later, field goals blocked at the end of the game.
Yes, walk-off block field goals.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Not to mention a lot of easy missed chip shots yesterday. There was something going on with kickers yesterday.
Yeah.
I think Dobbins made the right call. Go ahead and take the 6.
We'll take the 6, which becomes 7 with the extra point. There's no way you can lose the game. You could just go to overtime.
I don't know how his contract is structured, but I would say always take the 6. If you're at a skill position, always take the touchdowns. Always take the points.
I think because of the injuries with J.K. Dobbins, he's on a series of 1-year contracts. Like, I don't think anyone's extending him longer than a year.
Take all of the touchdowns.
Well, he did. He took his touchdown. Yeah. He got his touchdown.
Well, he got 2 yesterday.
Yeah. Steelers-Ravens, that's football, huh? I mean, that was amazing. What a day. Steelers, Bills, and Chiefs. What do you mean, I love an 18-16 game. You don't?
All right.
No.
Really?
I don't.
Can we play really quick a game of winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka? Please drink responsibly.
Sure.
Wow, you really want to get into it. Let's go.
Amazing. I wanted to talk Steelers and Ravens. It was a great game.
Yeah, apparently his winner or loser has
okay.
Hey, spoiler alert.
And by the way, the Chargers. Sims and I said it last week. Sneaky good.
We'll get to them.
All right. Sorry.
Winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
All right.
We don't have to do them all now. This is just a real quick one because we got to it right away.
Yeah.
Losers.
Yep.
The Ravens and the Steelers. I no longer have faith in the Ravens or the Steelers, and I'll tell you why.
Really?
Yeah. This is the second win of the season the Steelers have where they've only kicked field goals.
Yeah.
But that's not going to do anything for you in the playoffs.
I would argue
go on a run that way.
I would argue when Mike Tomlin is kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns, he's got you right where he wants you.
I mean, okay. You just want to say that.
I did.
We had someone. I have something to throw out to you guys, and I don't know if you guys.
Giving him ammunition.
I don't know if you guys have winners and losers that you want to share also that we can get to. But someone sent this to us on Twitter, and I kind of like this idea, so I want to run it by you guys.
Okay.
Field goals don't count until you score a touchdown. So, like, you can have kicked all the field goals, you can have the 18 points,
bank them.
But they don't count until you get a touchdown. So you have like 18 points there that are unassigned.
That are banked.
Once you score the touchdown,
it becomes 25.
It becomes 25.
The rare 25-point play.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
The other team's never safe.
Banking field goals. It's great. I mean, perhaps the Jets would have won more games if that was an actual rule. We've banked a lot of field goals.
Well, you got to score touchdowns.
Right, you have to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You also had a terrible kicker.
By the way, it was our fourth kicker in 4 weeks.
No, I'm saying Zerline terrible.
He was good.
Kicker.
Yeah, no, he was the best.
Yeah.
I miss him.
I don't trust the Ravens losing a game. Like I wanted to.
Right.
I always want to trust the Ravens, and something always happens where I'm like, I cannot trust the Ravens. And it's not just this. It's like they're 4 losses already. They're not super dominating teams.
No.
And
no.
they're losing a game where they don't give up a touchdown. And their defense, that's probably one of their better defensive performances of the year. Their defense hasn't been good this year. They didn't allow a touchdown, but you still lose the game.
I mean, that's the problem with the Baltimore Ravens is that you just don't trust them against that particular team, the Steelers, because they haven't been good. Lamar has not been good against the Steelers, and you don't trust them in the postseason in a big spot.
I don't understand. They have such a great offense.
They do. They have a great quarterback. They have the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
So why do they struggle against teams like the Steelers?
I don't know.
I mean, the Steelers have a good defense, but still.
I don't know. It's a great question. I do not know. Lamar Jackson is not the same quarterback against the Steelers and against some of the better teams than he is against everyone else. And there are numbers to back that up. By the way, this is on Twitter, at NFL on CBS, the Steelers' record in a game in which they have scored no touchdowns this season, they're 2-0.
Yeah.
He's got you right where he wants you, I'm telling you. 2-0. Mike, do you have a theory on what happens to Lamar Jackson when he plays against the Steelers and in some of these bigger games? Like last year, AFC Championship game at home, it was sitting there for the taking, and he loses to Kansas City.
I think it's one of those, like, not to go back to the Jets, but like the Jets can't beat Jacoby Brissett. And the problem is for Lamar, the Steelers just happen to be their most hated rival.
Right.
Like, it's just one of those, hey, we got your number. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. That's got to be infuriating for John Harbaugh. Like he's got the MVP, he's got the best quarterback in the NFL, he's got a good team. There are times when people said, myself included, by the way, Ravens best team in the NFL, and Tomlin is strolling out there with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields late in the game and beating Lamar Jackson. That's infuriating.
They have
man.
dumb losses this year. They lost to the Browns, they lost to the Raiders. The Chiefs game was the one that we were at. That one they lost because the foot was out. But
right.
Like the other games, you should be beating the Raiders, you should be beating the Browns, and now you're going to go up against the Chargers. The Chargers are a good team.
The Chargers are a very good team.
Eagles are a good team.
Eagles are a very good team.
Chargers, Eagles.
Couple of Harbaughs.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at 7-6 potentially.
Yes. Yeah. No question about it. In the post-game presser, someone asked Mike Tomlin what his reaction would have been pregame if he'd been told they would beat the Ravens without scoring a touchdown. He shrugged and spit at him, sort of.
Yeah.
Steelers-Ravens.
I can hear him saying it.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it, but I can hear him saying it.
It's not wrong, right?
He's not wrong at all. Mikey, do you have any winners or losers here? We need the music back because I have a winner and a loser.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do have a loser. I have a loser.
Hold on, wait for the music. There it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The fantasy football tight end position. Taysom Hill should not have the stats he had as the tight end.
Agreed.
He had 7 carries for 138 yards and 3 touchdowns to go along with 8 catches for 50 yards. Like, those aren't tight end numbers.
I really
get that out of here. Like, they need to have a separate Taysom Hill category in fantasy football.
They have, if you didn't own Taysom Hill already and start him this week, don't pick him up. He has one of these a year.
Don't pick him up. He won't do this again.
He has one of these a year. I'm sorry, you've missed it this year. Better luck next season.
You missed the game this year?
You missed the Taysom Hill game.
The Taysom Hill game? Right.
That's why I hate him, because you always know that he has one of these in him.
Yes.
And then if you are in a contest, like a fantasy weekly contest presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka, please drink responsibly. You see him and you're like, wow, I can get Taysom Hill for like $4,100 or something like that, right?
Right.
And he'll get you 97 billion fantasy points, or he'll get you 0.34. Yeah. And it's like, I cannot rely on Taysom Hill week to week. No. So you have to get lucky enough to get him the week that he does that. Now, gang, this week, I was not lucky enough to get him in our weekly fantasy contest by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka.
You were not.
I was not. I did get Jonnu Smith, though.
Oh, wow.
Nice 30-something. Yeah, Jonnu Smith is living in the world where he's still relatively affordable. And if you're watching the Dolphins, which outside of Miami, I don't know why you would be watching the Dolphins, but if you're watching the Dolphins, you can see they're getting comfortable and they're finding something here with Jonnu Smith.
Agreed.
Wide receiver, too.
He's becoming their guy.
He is.
Because you can't depend on Waddle. He drops the ball way too much. Hill kind of has been taken out of the picture largely.
He was good yesterday. He had 7 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, it's
That's
better.
not Tyreek Hill numbers.
No, I understand that, but the
Charity
Dolphins will
touchdown.
take that compared to what he's given them in the last 4 or 5 weeks, which is nothing.
He's getting a lot of like 3-yard, 4-yard, 7-yard like plays on 3rd and like 3 to get him the first down.
That's how it has to be. Like, they've figured out their offense. You put the safety over the top, he's not going to beat you long. So you have to adjust how you play with him. So that's going to be him from now on. Yeah.
Jonnu Smith, 8 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, career day for him.
Yeah.
I finished in like 180th place. Not in the money, but I'm headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, Tua was one of my winners. How about that?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you making that sound?
Well, because unfortunately, especially when we're talking about our fantasy thing, I go back to who it is that I wanted to take and who it is that I ended up taking because I have a loser, and that's the person that I took.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we need the music?
You need it?
We don't need it. But, I mean,
Give it to him.
Do you want it?
I want it.
It was Russell Wilson. Loser.
Wow. Pre-music. I mean,
The train's on the tracks. We're
say
going.
it again with the music. Just now say it.
All right, another one of my losers this week, Russell Wilson.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Has a greater impact.
Just not impressed by him yesterday.
Tua was a winner for me just because that Dolphin offense and that Dolphin team is so much better when Tua is healthy. I mean, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He has played great since he's come back.
I got to say, sneaky, best year of his career so far. Minus the injury.
Yesterday was a weird Dolphins game.
Yeah.
In that, like, it wasn't like the it wasn't like the fast scoring, action packed thing. They scored essentially every time they had the ball. They didn't do it like right before the half. They had a little bit. They ran out the clock, and I think they didn't do it the last possession of the game. But they scored every other time they had the ball. But they were going on like long 8-9 minute drives, and they were just boom, boom, boom. Here. We're gonna keep driving. We're gonna score a touchdown, which is not the Dolphins' offense that we're accustomed to, which is just like quick strikes, flashy plays. They were just meticulously cutting them apart yesterday.
They didn't have a single punt.
No,
They
I'm
didn't
telling
punt
you.
once the entire game.
No.
Yeah.
I have a question,
It's a
though.
nice paycheck.
Should the punter, yeah, exactly. Should the punter be paid?
Huh?
If he doesn't have to punt.
Yeah, didn't work.
Huh?
I show up here, do nothing. There's questions asked.
Well, you'd get paid regardless, I think.
Should the punters be on the payroll?
What do you do?
I mean,
Exactly.
should a punter count against your cap?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he didn't do anything.
How about this? You get paid per punt. You watch certain teams get their pick of the litter when it comes to punters.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
Per
the Browns?
punt?
Yeah, I would love to go there.
Yeah.
Per punt or per yard of punts? Like a fraction?
No, Mikey's saying you
listen,
get
that's-
paid per punt, and that punters would be sprinting to teams like the Browns and
Exactly.
the Jets.
Can I
Best
give you?
punters would be there.
Can I give you one last winner in winners and losers presented by
Draft
Smirnoff,
me!
the world's #1 vodka? And this is just out of left field, but because we're talking about punters, I thought it was funny. I saw a stat yesterday. Winner, Corey Taylor, punter
Yeah,
of the Chicago Bears,
right.
who was texted when drafted by Caleb Williams, "We're not going to need you very much this year."
Yeah.
Torrey Taylor has more punt yards than Caleb Williams has pass yards on the season.
Punter is the winner, Caleb the loser.
Yep.
Right?
They call him back.
Bo Nix is winning this rookie quarterback thing, huh?
He's a late entrant, but he seems to be really pushing for it here.
I would say Bo Nix. Drake May, the thought of Michael Penix are all ahead of Caleb Williams. I mean, Jaden Daniels is falling, though. I will tell you that.
Michael Penix got in yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah.
What'd he do?
Get him blown out, yeah.
Yeah.
little garbage time.
Little garbage
little
time?
Garbage time stuff. I mean, nothing
Garbage
nothing
time.
big.
But how do you look in the uniform? Because that's important.
I mean, he looks great in the uniform. Right?
Yeah.
Can't deny
He
that.
does.
Really? All right.
Born for it.
Well, then he's had a better season than Caleb. I mean,
2 of 4, 24 yards.
really?
Yeah.
What'd you make of the Chiefs-Bills game?
It's fun, man. It lived up to the hype.
It
It
did.
was one of those that I was worried wasn't going to, but it did. Josh Allen is.
I was worried at halftime. When it was
Yeah.
only 14-16, I was like, oh, maybe a little stinker. And then
Yeah.
Right.
exploded in the second half.
Bad loss for the Bills? I mean, bad win for the Bills, excuse me?
I don't know why you're saying that. You were saying that before the show.
Well, because they're 4-1 against them in the regular season. They never beat them in the postseason. The Bills were acting like they won a Super Bowl yesterday. They did not. They won a regular season game. That still doesn't give them home field advantage.
That was their Super Bowl.
So here's the thing. That is their Super Bowl every regular season, and they win it. They're undefeated in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs in the regular season. Not undefeated, but they've been dominating the Chiefs in the regular season the past couple of times that they played them, and then when you see them in the postseason, it's a completely different story. Little game of cat and mouse, I think, that's being played by the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
You let them think, here we go.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. Mikey, well said. Great loss by the Chiefs.
Great loss by the Chiefs. Yeah. Yes. That's the lose that will that's the loss, that will ultimately make the Chiefs win.
You think Josh Allen really was able to scramble like 25 yards there at the end? They just say, Spag said, hey, guys. Yeah. Lay up a little bit.
Yeah, this is a good loss, right?
And then now they know.
Let them think they're better than us.
Coming to the playoffs.
We need this one.
They're going to drop old Joshy there on a 4th and 2 when they really need it. Not when they're winning, when they're trailing.
Yeah.
You're going to be stuffed.
You think Spag was saying?
What happened? It worked last time.
Exactly,
it worked in the regular season.
So you
Josh, he dropped the 25-yard touchdown run again here.
So you guys have Spags telling his defense to let Josh Allen score in that spot. Yes, right.
Josh Allen.
I don't think he has to tell him. He has them so well trained. They just gave a look and they were like, "I got you."
They went over that scenario in the meeting.
Yes,
because Spags is so prepared that they knew in this.
That's
scenario.
day one install stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. I feel bad because Josh Allen is so good, and I feel like we're never going to give him credit
until he does it in the playoffs. We do not forget about college football here. Lucy will join us next.
It's time for my favorite segment of the week.
Which is?
It's a segment where we bring in Lucy to tell us about what happened in college football. By the way, and it's presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company in New York, New York. Something's happening here that I don't like behind the scenes, Stugotz, and I don't know how to solve this problem, but I don't like it.
Okay.
And this is
confront it head on.
This is what's going on. You know what? That's what we're going to do, Mikey. We're going to have this meeting on air.
All right.
Because I don't like the way that things are being done just before we start the segment. Lucy joins us. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Welcome.
I'm all right.
So Lucy joins us, and she seems excited about her trip. And then she'll just tell us little things that happened on the trip. She's like, oh, Athens is great. I love Athens so much. You know, I walked a little bit, whatever, right? And old doom and gloom over here, Mike Fuentes is like, you sound like you're miserable every single trip. You sound like you hate traveling. You sound like you hate trip. You sound like you hate your job. You sound like you hate your life. You sound like you hate football.
Absolutely did.
Thank you.
I heard it. I mean,
no, she comes because she always goes, Athens is great. It's great. And then somebody comes bombing in with, there's a lot of walking, and the parking sucked, and there's people with, well,
that was Mikey A, who went to Athens and hated it.
But somehow this is on me, even though Mikey A is the one that brought up the negative stuff.
Yes, correct.
All I said was it was very hilly.
Right.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else you heard to make you think like it wasn't a great time.
You said you need a hiking stick.
My calves hurt.
Yeah, and then her calves hurt. You can't park anywhere.
But that's
good. They did, and it was hard to park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the end of the world. Everything is miserable. I am such a mean person.
Lucy, when you get to 40,
delightful.
When you get to 40, you understand how bad parking is. You need good parking, right? Stu knows what's up.
40.
Yeah.
Lucy, can I give you a parking hack?
Yes, please. I'd like it. I'm a little frustrated.
Yeah, I think Lucy comes on, and
I lost my cool.
In part, Lucy comes on because she really lightens up the mood, and she makes us happy, and we then enjoy.
She's a ray of sunshine at 7:30 in the morning.
It's like a positive infusion that we need around here.
Or 4:45 in the
afternoon. Do you know how late I get back on Sundays? I'm very sleepy. I would have loved to sleep in, but no. I like being on this show and being happy, and now I'm furious, Mike.
Listen, Lucy, and for everyone, set the record straight. We don't want Mike Fuentes talking. He just turns on his mic and he just does these things to come in here and bring down the mood.
Yeah, it's never been discussed. He just started turning the mic on.
Talking. He's like, I have a top 5. We're like, okay, let's do it.
All right,
And then it's usually top 5 things about the world that I hate, and it's like, geez, Mike Fuentes, calm down, buddy. Like, college football is fun.
Yeah, Fuentes, what's the problem here? What's the matter? You have an objection?
This happened.
He's mad at us.
This happened since he not to delve too deep into the Mike Fuentes world, but this happened since his trip to Japan got canceled canceled.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
He just pushed the mic away. I mean, Jesus, Billy.
He was gonna get a tattoo.
God
now
bless
I feel
football,
bad.
Fuentes.
He was gonna
God
get a
bless
tattoo
football,
there,
Fuentes.
and he couldn't get his tattoo.
I take it all back.
He got his earring for nothing.
All right, hold on a second. Let's get to Mikey A's parking hack here for Lucy.
He is so mad at me right now. I'm sorry.
Wait, are you mad at me or are you mad at all of us or just Billy?
He's not going to talk.
Don't-
now.
don't-
Now
don't
he's
do the
just talking
passive-aggressive thing,
No,
okay?
Come on. We want to hear
Name
from
names.
You. Yeah,
Name
who are you
names.
mad at? Who are you mad at?
Come on.
Oh wow, now he's being difficult.
He's not going to do it. He's ignoring
Unbelievable.
us. He's our producer.
Jeez.
What's the parking hack, Mikey A?
They don't tow when meters expire, and it's only a $25 ticket.
Oh, well, I probably shouldn't say this. I did get a parking ticket while I was there.
Wow, how much
And
was
it? was
it?
$50.
Oh, hack.
Really?
Rebuffed.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a real life
Still cheaper.
Mythbusters.
I think Mike's right. I think I'd eat the $50 just to park in that spot,
Yeah.
though. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expensing it, so
Yeah, it
Right.
doesn't
it's really
matter.
not my problem.
You've been to Athens before, though, right? Of course you're expensing that. Yes, of course. You've been to Athens, right?
Yes, I toured there when I was looking at colleges, but this
Right.
was my first Athens game day. What just a wonderful college town. I think it's my favorite city we've been to. So much fun. Did you know it has the most bars per capita of any city in the country?
I did
Fun
not.
fact for you. 87 bars in a mile
person.
radius.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many bars in Athens. Because of that, though, the tailgating is not as great as other SEC schools because the bars are so good that a lot of students and people will just go to the bars before games.
Sure.
And the campus is so wide that the tailgating is very spread out. And as Mikey said earlier, you are climbing through these hills. Oh my God, it is such a hilly campus. My legs hurt so bad after it. But we had so much fun. It's such a good game day atmosphere. The game ended up being really good. The funny part for me was so we did this as fans. Thank you, Game Time. We sat in the little stands. And the way that Georgia fans react is so funny because I would sit there, do anything to be in their position. They were planning Carson Beck's demise in the stands, just as angry as I've ever seen people in my entire life. And I'm like, Carson, come on home. I'd love to have you. They don't deserve you. I would never take you for granted, ever. But Carson played much better than he has the last few weeks, so it was a really good game, but super fun. I really, really, really loved Athens. Huge fan.
I think that as a show, everyone owes Mike Fuentes an apology because in an effort to kind of
What did we do?
In an effort to make things
apologize.
better, I feel
Right.
like
I
we
said
made
God
things
bless
worse.
football, Fuentes.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
all
so
I
I
said.
think that we need to apologize to him. So I would like to apologize on behalf of Stugotz and Lucy and Mikey A. I'm sorry for everything that was said and done to you earlier this segment.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
apologize for.
And I apologize too.
Yeah, I apologize
I feel like
as well.
hurtful
Yes,
things were
yeah.
said in the name of entertainment purposes by others.
By you!
And I need to step in here and be the bigger person and the adult in the room and say, I'm sorry on behalf of them.
Just let me know if you guys need a sound or something.
You know what I'm hoping, actually, and we'll look into this, Stugotz.
What?
I'm wondering if maybe, and this is a bit of a stretch, Fuentes, so I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe we can find a game in Japan where football is being played and we can convince Smirnoff to sponsor us to go there and then we can get you to Japan. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not going to be probably college or the NFL, but maybe we can find a football game happening there and then convince Smirnoff. And that way we can go to Japan, you can get your tattoo and all that.
I'm going to be on strike until Smirnoff sends me to Japan.
Really? Lucy, you seem to have something on this. Am I
Well,
wrong?
there was the World Football Championships or something because
Right.
I remember that Japan beat the United States, and I said, "Oh, I don't know
What?
if that should be."
Hold on a second.
I
Really?
don't know about that one.
Time out.
Yeah, so
There
you
was a
could go to see
football
Japan.
tournament and Japan beat the United
Japan,
States?
I cannot remember when this was, but I saw this on Reddit College Football.
Right.
Japan beat the United States in some sort of football tournament.
That has to be a bigger upset than the United States
Than
beating
anything.
Russia in hockey in 1980.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
So that's what. So we should go see that Japan team because
Right.
they beat the US.
Okay.
Fuentes, would that make you feel better? A trip to Japan on Dan.
Yes, actually, yeah.
It would, right? Do I have to go?
You don't want to come to Japan?
That's a long trip.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of walking, hiking stick. I
Only
mean,
half as long as your drive from Parkland.
No, I'd get there quicker.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm begging Dan to get studios in Japan.
so Lucy, the Canes are no longer in the driver's seat, and they need to kind of win out.
Well, they have to win
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I know that I'm supposed to be your college football expert on this show, but I got to tell you, I have no clue how any of these conference championship games work. No clue.
Crazy.
I've tried to read it so many times. It's like when someone explains the rules of a card game to me, just nothing going on upstairs. So I don't even know how the ACC figures out who plays because Clemson's got a conference loss. Miami's got a conference loss. SMU does not have a conference loss. And I don't know how they figure out who goes into the championship game, especially because Clemson and Miami do not play head-to-head.
Right.
Miami and SMU do not play head-to-head. And Clemson and SMU do not play head-to-head. So what do you I don't know. I really have no idea. The Big 12 is also looking at something similar right now. Obviously, BYU lost this weekend. Colorado seems to sort of be in the driver's seat. Arizona State is suddenly really, really good. The Big 10 is the only conference that makes sense, and they have 4 out of the top 5 teams in the AP top 5. Like, it doesn't, nothing is aligning right now.
So the scenarios that I saw have SMU, if they win at Virginia, they're in. They clinch.
Virginia is not the best, but they're a lot better than they have been. Shout out Tony Elliott.
And then if Miami loses one of their next 2 games, Clemson clinches. So Miami needs to win out or they're going to miss the ACC championship game.
Right.
And should they miss the ACC championship game, I don't know that 2 ACC teams are going to make it into the playoff.
No, they won't. They will not be there. Who's left on their schedule?
Miami is Wake Forest this weekend. The game that Canes fans should be worried about is they travel to Syracuse after that. I'm not saying Syracuse is going to beat them. I'm just saying Syracuse can beat Miami at home. That's all, Lucy.
No, exactly. I mean, it's the same sort of argument with Georgia Tech of like Miami has played a game every single season where anyone could win. Duke could have won. Cal could have won. Like the only game that really wasn't that close was Florida State and Florida. But Florida State was still probably closer than they should have been.
Right.
Yeah, it's very odd that Miami is in this position now. You know, you lose one game when you're in a conference that is so bad. Like you should it is so, if I'm a Miami fan, obviously I want to make the playoff, but holy, if you cannot get through the ACC undefeated, which is a very hard thing to do, you do not want to run into a juggernaut like Indiana in the college football playoff.
If you lose, we'll get to Lucy or Goosey in just a second here, but if you lose to Georgia Tech and then you have a second loss to Syracuse or Wake Forest, you simply don't deserve to be in the college football playoff.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Like 2 ACC losses is absurd at this point. Like this is a very bad conference.
Yep.
Like for Miami to even be in this position right now where there is like some sort of twisted fate question of whether or not they make the ACC championship game is not good at all.
All right, time for Lucy or Goosey. Are you ready, Lucy?
I'm always ready.
Lucy or Goosey, you'd be shocked if Indiana beats Ohio State.
I would not be shocked. So Goosey.
Okay.
I'm not like insanely confident that they will. I think this is a game that Indiana could lose by like 10 points, but it's pretty close up until the 4th. Just remember, this is an Ohio State team that struggled against a bad Nebraska team, which, by the way, still not bowl eligible. It's Indiana matches up well. They have a ton of talent. They're a good football team. I know that the Michigan game was kind of disgusting, but Michigan is sort of a team that drags you down to their level. Ohio State, I really do think will win, but I think it's going to be a competitive game because Ohio State, with the exception of playing, the sort of group of 5 schools, has played a lot of closer games this year than you would expect. I know that they were down by a touchdown at Northwestern to start this game and everyone lost their mind, and then that was over very quickly. But Indiana's a very good team, so I think that I don't think they win, but I think it's competitive.
I'm glad you said 10 points. If Ohio State beats Indiana by 10 points or less, Indiana still gets into the playoff.
Lucy, for sure.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah. Like this is a playoff elimination game, not in the sense of win or lose, but in the sense of how do you play in this game. If Indiana goes out there and loses 56-7, well, guess what? You're not going to the playoff. If Indiana gets out there, wins 56-7, oh my God, yes, you're the most playoff team ever. If they lose a close game, it's going to be hard to knock them out of the playoff, especially because as we're seeing in the SEC, as we're seeing in the Big 12 and the ACC, that teams are cannibalizing each other right now. The Big 10 is kind of in the best spot.
I was, when we were talking about Nebraska, I was wondering what happened to our old friend Dylan Raiola, because we haven't talked about him in a long time since he was pretending to be Patrick Mahomes.
The team stinks, and you can't pretend to be Patrick Mahomes when your team stinks.
Yeah,
right?
He's been bad.
Yeah.
Like
not been good. I have to get the number exactly, but Matt Rule is like 0-8 in bowl clinching games. Nebraska, the level of misery that fan base endures is genuinely like shocking to me. They have not won a game in November in like 4 years.
But what's happening with them? They're one win away from being bowl eligible, and they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah, so this happened to them this year. This happened to them last year. This has happened to them like 5 out of the last previous years, where every time they reach 5 wins, they just cannot win a game. And not only can they not win a game, they cannot win like a close game. They are always losing by 1 possession games. It has to be studied. Like, there needs to be tests done, because I've never seen anything like this. Like, and it makes me sad because obviously I don't like Nebraska. They're a rival. Their fans are delightful. Some of the best fans I've ever seen in the country. And I think that all Nebraska football tickets should come with like a promotion to like a therapy service, because I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. I want them to get back on track, and I want Dylan Raiola to do something so that our lasting memory of him isn't him cosplaying Patrick Mahomes and then just being terrible, and then he went away, and that's all we ever know about him. I want him to have a moment. Right. Yeah. But I want him for like his sake and like his future therapy bills to like have his own moment, you know?
You are oddly concerned about this kid, huh?
I am. I want him to have his own identity. I want him to like do a thing, you know?
I'll look up how much NIL money he makes, and then I'll see if I feel bad.
NIL money is so crazy. I felt like I shouldn't have thought this, but like when I saw Cam Ward buy his entire offensive line diamond chains this weekend, I was like, come on.
What do you mean?
We're coming off a loss. Like, let's focus here. You know what I mean? Like, this shouldn't be what we're focusing on right now.
It's fair.
Again, coming off a loss, and now you're not even the driver, so you need help to get in. Like, let's, just privately do that. You do that like at a Secret Santa, you know what I mean? A white elephant exchange.
I agree with you. Yes.
Are we doing that again this year? By the way, guys, last year we had a white elephant here at the office that went.
We did?
Yeah, really. Yeah, you weren't here. Thanks for staying for that. It went really weird.
Well, I mean, as things tend to go here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lucy or Goosey, if you are rooting for Notre Dame to beat Army this weekend, you're not American.
Wow.
Lucy, with the exception of Jessica. She can do whatever she wants. She's perfect.
Okay, so she can root for Notre Dame, and we'll still consider her to be American.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Army, undefeated.
Yes.
The Navy Army AAC championship dream is dead. Tulane kind of beat the shit out of Navy this weekend, so we will not be seeing that. Army is a good team. They're in the top. They keep jumping up the college football playoff rankings. I kind of think we're going to have something similar to what happened with Notre Dame and Navy, where we're like, ooh, Notre Dame, Navy. Navy's undefeated, looking good. And then Notre Dame beat the crap out of them, because I know that Notre Dame's not playing particularly wonderful teams, but since that Northern Illinois loss, they're beating teams the way Indiana is. You know, they're very decidedly winning games. Riley Leonard looks very, very good. So I do not think that Army will win. This game is in Yankee Stadium, which is kind of fun. But you can root for Notre Dame if you're Jessica, but everyone else, you have to support the troops.
How about the Golics?
I'll let the Golics.
All right, you'll let the Golics in? All right. Yeah, I don't know about that. Lucy or Goosey, there will be a new head coach at LSU next year.
Oh, gosh.
Goosey, not because I think that they don't want a new head coach, but I don't know Brian Kelly's buyout off the top of my head, but I do know that his contract runs until the 2030s right now.
Mm-hmm.
LSU has a lot of money, but I do think it'll take fundraising to get rid of Brian Kelly. And the thing about Brian Kelly is I don't know if there's anyone in the country better at making excuses. Watch a press conference of his, you'll learn that. For LSU to lose 3 straight games, to lose to half a Florida team, destroyed against Alabama, pretty much destroyed against A&M. This is the reddest flag of red flags for LSU, and their athletic director kind of sucks.
Right. The buyout,
$62 million almost, by the way. Is
$61 million, the buyout for Brian Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah. So hope you like Brian Kelly. I hope you like that Southern accent, and I hope he likes gumbo.
You're stuck with him is what you're saying, huh?
Oh, yeah. And like Brian Kelly is going to be sort of in the slightly more likable James Franklin realm for me, where like LSU is going to have talent, they're going to have money, they're going to have good NIL, but they're not going to reach that next level with Brian Kelly. Like 9 to 10 wins every season, which at LSU might as well be a losing season.
All right, a very quick one on the way out. If you're Stanford and you have 40 people in the stands, you cannot storm the field after springing the upset.
Goosey, you can't storm the field, especially with Louisville losing solely on dumb penalties. That's hilarious. Storm the field, nerds.
Yeah, but 40 of them. I mean,
Yes, all 40 of them should do it.
okay, all right.
When are they ever going to do it again?
No, you're right. Are you headed to
Can you call it storming?
No, you
call
can't.
it storming the
No.
field with 40?
barely
Like,
covering
just-
the field?
Yeah. Drizzling the
That's-
field.
That's just sneaking on. At that point, you're just sneaking on. You could stand on the sidelines and no one would know.
Are we headed to Indiana, Ohio State this weekend, Lucy?
We are actually not.
What?
We're switching. I know. We're switching things up. We're doing something different. We're going to Harvard Yale this week.
Wow.
I love that.
I'm
You're
really
so
excited.
I
I
can
love
tell. Wow.
It's going to be weird. I don't know what to do.
Right.
I don't know if they tailgate.
No, they go to the library.
I don't know.
Yeah, they tailgate at the library.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
Where is it?
It's at Harvard, so
All
Cambridge.
right, yeah.
That's a short drive for you, Mikey. You should join her.
Lucy wanted to
Yeah,
go to Boston.
welcome.
Yale, I would have come.
Yale's right down.
Yale, I'd have met you.
I mean, yeah.
Harvard's too far.
Yale's right down the street from your house. I mean,
Yes.
I know. All right.
That's
All right,
why I
Lucy.
asked.
I know. All right, Lucy. Enjoy Harvard and Yale. I'll be watching Indiana, Ohio State.
Yeah, well, I'll probably be in the press box. I'll probably be watching it on my computer too. So.
It is odd that we do the Monday recap show, Billy, and we have two bits of breaking news. Not massive news, but
As
just
we're
some
recording.
breaking news as we're recording, yes. Mikey A will deliver the first bit of breaking news here on a Monday. What do you got, Mikey?
Yeah. The Daniel Jones era in New York is likely over. He is being benched, and they're going back to Tommy Cutlets. Tommy DeVito will start for the Giants.
Oh boy.
That means his agent,
Exactly
George
right.
Shemtoff, is back.
Yeah.
Whatever his name, whatever that
I
guy's
say that means his
First thing I thought about.
Yeah.
Gonna be Roman Radio Row again this year.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Why play Daniel Jones if, yes, he has played his last game as a New York Giant, right? So
He'll
that's
be on the Jets next year, right?
he will be on the Jets and be worse next year. Yes. Aaron Rodgers is coming back to the Jets next year. I hate to say that. Fuentes, what is your bit of breaking news here?
The Pop-Tart Bowl will now have 3 mascots this year.
Wow.
Frosted Hot Fudge Sundae, Frosted Wildberry, and Mystery Flavor that's coming back from the vault.
Wow.
Only one mascot will achieve the ultimate pastry dream of being eaten by the winning team,
That's the dream?
and the game MVP picks the flavor.
That's a Pop-Tart stream.
Wow.
Well, last year's Pop-Tart, was sacrificed for the good of the people.
It was a weird
And
scene.
the team.
It was a weird scene at the end.
Yeah, where they the Pop-Tart got into a toaster and then came out and they ate
him.
the Pop-Tart, which was alive moments before.
And they chose the strawberry frosted, so when they started ripping it apart, it looked very bloody and not great for
Savage.
television. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It
So
looks
now,
savage.
now there's going to be 3, and the winning team is going to choose which one we're
The
sacrificing.
MVP was going to choose. So one player.
Choose which one is being sacrificed, and that is a Pop-Tart's dream.
Yes, to be eaten by a football team after
Yes.
middle December bowl.
According to the Pop-Tarts. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
not for me to tell the Pop-Tarts
exactly. Who
what
are
the
you to
Pop-Tart's
decide?
dream is.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I love the idea. This Indiana-Ohio State game is so fascinating to me because they just have to stay close. It seems like 10 points is like the line of demarcation. If they lose by less than 10 points, they're fine. If they lose by more than 10 points, they're out. And so I'm wondering if they're down 7 late in the game, if Cagnetti, the Indiana coach, they're undefeated, they're down 7, they're at Ohio State, and they are driving. But rather than driving for the winning touchdown, what they do is they get into victory formation.
I was about to say, first victory formation, down 7. That'd be fantastic.
It's Signetti, but that's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, close enough.
Coach Sings, okay? He's new to all of us. Indiana's new to all of us in terms of football. But I do like the idea of, hey, you know what? We're down 7 at Ohio State. Why risk it and throw a pick 6? We lose by 14. I'll just take a knee. Huh? Then I don't have to play. To your point, Billy, you've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. Then you avoid the Big Ten championship game. So you're getting in. You lost. You were competitive with Ohio State. You took a victory formation down 7 with 48 seconds to go at Columbus, and you're in the playoffs. You don't have to play. You don't have to play in the conference championship game. You're in. It's over.
It's a ridiculous idea, but it's not the craziest thing in the world. It's not the craziest thing in the world.
It felt like the craziest thing in the world as it was coming out of my mouth.
It's not that crazy, I don't think.
To be fair, like Indiana having 10 wins is crazy enough already.
He's starting to like the idea, though.
It's not terrible.
He's starting to like the idea. You're down. Why risk it?
I get your logic. I get it.
Right. You try to win, you could lose. Yeah. I mean.
The spread in that game is 12. Is this the rare, like, where gambling and actual football meet perfectly, and as long as you cover, you're in?
Yeah, I don't know. Does 12 get... They lose by
12 get you in?
I'm fascinated.
11 and a half?
I want to know.
11 and a half?
Do you think the committee has a number? Do you think they've discussed a number? As Billy,
Vegas gave them the number. Here, 12.
I know, but do you think
they cover? They're in.
No, but I think the committee is set on like 10 or less. It's got to be a single-digit game for Indiana to get in.
I think it's the full eye test. Because if they're down 7 at the end, and then like there's like a fluke fumble or something, and Ohio State gets a touchdown, they'd be like, well, they're trying to win the game at the end.
What if it's like 28-14? They get a garbage touchdown at the end.
Depends on the quality of the touchdown. I mean, if it's a bomb or something, like a great play, I don't know. Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Cover and you're in. I like it.
Yeah.
So cover and you're in. That's it?
Cover and you're in. I like that.
12 or less, you're in. How about a push? Does a push get you in?
Nah, push goes to the eye test.
Really?
Yeah. Now we got to look at body of work. You're right.
So 11 points or less guarantees you a playoff spot. And you don't have to play the Big Ten championship.
Maybe the committee buys the hook.
and then if all the categories are met, they go to the ratings.
Oh, my God.
Did they get a big number? Oh, they're in.
I am so fascinated by this game and what's going to happen to Indiana, because I don't think they're going to win. I think Ohio State's going to win. It's just a matter of by how much. Mike, how'd you feel about Anthony Richardson, the Jets? It was so Jets. It's not a matter of if they're going to lose. It's a matter of how they're going to lose. I was mad at Shane Steichen. That guy is a phony. He's a fraud.
Oh.
He is.
Wow.
Listen, you cannot be the head coach of the Colts and come out and say Joe Flacco is my quarterback for the remainder of the year, and then 2 losses and 5 interceptions later decide, that thing I said 2 weeks ago, forget about it. I'm going with Anthony Richardson. I'm going back to the guy who had the audacity to say that he was tired. I'm going back to him, and then Richardson comes down. He wins the game late for the Colts. The Colts are still in the hunt here for a final wild card spot in the AFC. And so I watched Shane Steichen celebrating with Anthony Richardson, and I was thinking Richardson should have punched him in the face. That's all I was thinking. I mean, he doesn't believe in him.
Shane Steichen. Yeah. Shane Steichen. Hot seat.
It sounds like something you would do.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
You're assuming I like myself, Billy. I'm not.
Do you?
I don't.
Why not?
Because I would do that.
You should like yourself.
No, but I am Shane Steichen.
So it kind of made Steichen look like a genius, though.
It did not make Steichen look like a genius.
Came back, big win. In the mix.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he comes back. He's more mature now. You sent a message. Listen, quarterback, you sit down. You learn your lesson. You come back. We'll go win a few games.
And they're right there in the mix.
And you're giving that to Steichen.
Who else is there?
Anthony Richardson. All right, we have a Monday night game tonight, the Cowboys and the Texans. Billy is getting his big board bet ready for this evening. He's got 3. You got 3? 3 of them?
I have 3.
Okay, you got 3.
Yeah.
What's the record this year?
29-14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another 4-2, by the way, on Stugotz. I am on fire in the NFL. College, not so great.
Yeah.
NFL,
not so much.
I am on fire. That's why I fell asleep at halftime last night. I figured that game was over. I had the Chargers. I was feeling good about it. I am shocked by how upset Billy was today at Joe Burrow, because I had no idea the game got that close.
It was a good game. Right. It was a good game.
Okay. Burrow's having a season. Mikey, can you look up the stats on Joe Burrow? I think it's like 29 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Can I ask you?
And if I told you that before the season, Burrow, 29-4, you guys would tell me that the Bengals are like the 1 seed in the AFC. Not even going to make the playoffs.
We went this whole episode and we did not talk about the Lions having another completely dominant performance. It was against the Jaguars, so who cares?
Yeah,
but
that's all you had
because
that's all you had to say. Yeah, that's all you had to say.
But here's what I wonder, and I'm surprised that we haven't gotten here yet, but I do wonder at some point if we're going to have Jared Goff MVP discussions.
He's in the.
He's not leading really anything other than his team being amazingly good. But he had another 400-yard performance, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But like, he's not at the top of the list in passing yards. He's not at the top of the list in touchdowns. Like, he's just the quarterback of the best team.
I mean, that's fair. He does have 20 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, 5 in one game. Burrow has 27-4. Goff is going to be in the MVP conversation. I don't know if he'll win it, but he's certainly going to be.
He's not going to win it. He's not going to win it.
Probably not.
He's not even being mentioned right now. But it's like a weird year where we don't exactly have a front runner.
Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen probably won it with that run yesterday.
I mean, there's still a ways to go in the season.
He can have one of those games where he throws 3 interceptions. He has like one of those every year.
I mean, he seems to now be the front runner, but it's been a season where we don't have a front runner, where every week we're trying to convince ourselves who the MVP of the season is.
That's fair.
And Jared Goff has not once come up in those conversations.
So since we're talking about big time quarterbacks in the league right now, is it kind of weird how Harbaugh kind of just turned Justin Herbert into a game manager, and that's great for them?
Yeah. I mean, he was better than a game manager last night.
No, first half, he was really good.
Jim Harbaugh's a good coach.
Yeah, and he just like, we're going to take this guy who's great, and I'm going to make him a game manager, and we're going to be way better than we've ever been.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Everywhere he goes, that team gets better instantly.
I'm going to share with you real quick my first Big Board Bets pick brought to you by, I'm still waiting for sponsor, Billy's Big Board Bets brought to you by 29-14 on the season. I'm going to give it to you real quick, and then you can go back to that because I have to write down. First one, I'm not excited about this game. This seems like an early night. This seems like it's not going to be a very good game. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go under 41.5.
Under 41.5. Rooting against points to be scored.
I hate to do it. I'm not rooting against points to be scored, but I feel like we're going to be going against points scored. I do not like this game at all.
Well, when you take the under, by definition, you are rooting for points not to be scored. That's okay. I'm fine with that. You're taking the under. Like, I mean, you have conviction. Right.
I'd love for points to be scored. I don't think that they're going to be scored.
Right.
And a reason why is my next one. It's our friend Cooper Rush, under 178.5 passing yards. Right.
All this would suggest that Billy likes the Texans tonight. I mean, I don't know.
You would think that I would, but it's a big spread.
No, I know, but if you're taking the under and Cooper going under, you're thinking like Texans are going to win this thing like 21-3 or something like that. I think
Cooper's hit triple digits once this season. Yeah. Like, obviously, he's only started a couple times, but I'm not liking this game very much this week.
Yeah, it's not a great game.
Yeah.
Cowboys supposed to be better. Texans, honestly, supposed to be better. So we'll see. Texans sitting at 6-4. The Texans need the game, so I like the Texans tonight.
My last one that I'm going to go is Joe Mixon over 86.5 rushing yards. Wow. The reason I think that he's going to have over 86.5 rushing yards is because I feel like the game is going to already be in hand in the fourth quarter, and they're just going to be running the ball. Now, I'm hoping that it's Joe Mixon. I'm not 100% sure it'll be Joe Mixon that may take him out of the game, but I think that we're going to get a lot of yards at the end of the game where we're just trying to kind of end the game.
You're saying take him out of the game because the game's a blowout?
Possibly.
Right.
But I'm betting on that he'll still be in there and he'll get a lot of garbage time yards just trying to kind of end the game.
I like a Nico Collins anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Do you?
He's back. Yeah.
Is he?
He is back.
I am checking out because the Bengals, I think they're one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL. Joe Mixon was important.
Kind of a big deal.
He was important.
Yeah.
Chase Brown looked pretty good last night, though.
Yeah,
Chase Brown looked pretty good. He was,
Okay, but in terms of team stats, the Bengals are near the bottom in rushing.
Okay.
Towards the top. I'm just saying, Joe Mixon. One of those guys. Who knew? Pretty important.
You're having a great season, too.
He's having a really good season.
I think people knew that he was good, no?
The Bengals didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Think about this. Joe Burrow has 27 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's a season for the ages. Like, if he continues, he's going to have 40-plus touchdowns and less than 10 interceptions, and his team is not going to make the playoffs.
Gonna have 7 wins.
I would say it's the greatest season by a quarterback. I'm guessing it will be the greatest season by a quarterback who didn't make the playoffs.
I don't want to be mean.
Would you trade right now the Bengals season for the Jets season? To have all that going right but still losing, or just the dumpster fire that is?
The dumpster fire that is.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do too.
I don't want to sound mean, and I don't mean to be mean to this person, but I mean, when your running back is Devin Singletary the year before, like that's your leading rusher, Joe Mixon, it's going to look good.
Yeah. You're right.
Respectfully to the Singletaries.
That's disrespecting Joe Mixon, if we're being honest.
Really? Well,
The
respect.
Singletary family.
Respect. No disrespect to the Mixons either, but
I'm glad you got that in.
God bless football.